position?
Yeah, I am Comrade Obala KSC, Chairman Labour Party of the State.
Okay, sir. What is your reaction on what your National Secretary, Dr. Abayomi, just raised recently on a live television interview concerning having having in possession some documents that have to do with your party manipulating the positions of certain candidates in the party?
Yeah, I'm sure you may be talking about Arabami, the publicity secretary of our party. I'm sure that is what you mentioned. Of course, I have listened to some of his talks in televisions and all the rest places he's making those points. But the point now is that at one point he discovered that the party forged documents to the court. At what point they didn't find out. He's an NWC member. And so, can he rightly accuse anybody of forging documents and he is not a collaborator? They cannot say that. So, if there is forgery, it means that Arabami, is part of the forgery. So now, if it comes around to say, "Oh, that happened," then where has it been? Is it not because he too had been caught in the act of putting his hand in the vault of the party? Is it not true that he is also running into serious complications with the opposition party where he too took money? Is it not true that he's been involved in anti-party activity all over the the western part of this country where our party exists? So for me, it's a complete ruse if you go to say party has a forged document and all the rest of it. The matter is even before the court. So if those documents are forged, then let the court find out that they are forged or not. So it's not for him to run to television houses and begin to tell the world that his party, has documents that are forged for purpose of getting one or two things like he said. For me, I would elect that nobody should listen to the rant.
Thank you, sir. Then looking at this, won't this affect the integrity of your party ahead of the 2023 general election?
Well, how does he approve? How does it affect the integrity of it? It's not going to affect it because falsehood will always be proved falsehood. And so if there is an intention to put together summaries of falsehood, they will also amount to nullity at the end of the day. And so it will not have any effect whatsoever on the integrity of the party because what they are accused for will eventually be found out as not correct.
Thank you, sir. Ahead of the 2023 general election, sir, at this point, there is supposed to be campaign going on in Edo State from your party. So how is the preparation going, sir?
Where the campaigns are top gear and then we are not leaving any stone unturned as to put in what we need to have together. Of course, it is a general election where all facets of elections will be involved. You have the senatorial, you have the House of Rep, you have House of Assembly, you have, of course, presidential, governorship, and the rest of it. These are a whole lot of tasks that needed to be done with funds. And so it's not been quite easy, but I can tell you Labour Party is doing all its best to ensure that we experience each free campaign.
Talking about your party, your presidential candidate, so many persons still believe that he has been sent by God to rescue Nigeria out of the quagmire Nigerian finds itself today. What is your position on that, sir?
No more, no less. That is the way it is. It is the Messiah that has been sent to us. Because if you take the calculations of all the years in our nation where a government has been over the period of the time, and with nothing to show, with the people getting poorer every day, with insecurity issues becoming so endemic, in such a manner that people are now kept in their homes and immediate environment, then you will know that Obi is needed. and he has called divinely to ensure that these terrible acts that had recalled the progress of the nation had to stop in 2023. Well, it's so bad that in the current time of our life, where civilization is the order of the day, people could simply resort to self-help and behave in such a dastard act. I don't know who they are really, but wherever they come from and who they are, I think it's a condemnable act where an institution has been existing. Some people can brazenly, could brazenly come to such an environment and have them, you know, driven away because they think they have the support of the hoodlums within them. It's a terrible matter. But I can tell you that Labour Party has just been formed, and we are critically looking into that. We are also calling the various government agencies that are to enforce the law to take note of this, that what is going on, Labour Party will not continue to fold its hands to watch it happen, notwithstanding the extent of our civility, the extent to which we want to abide by the laws of the land. If we are so now confronted the way they are going, the law enforcement agent must know that Labour Party will react. And I tell you, in few minutes from now, some actions will be taken. I am calling on the governor of Edo State, Obaseki, to look at the lawlessness that is currently perpetrated by people within the sovereignty he governs. And it could not be staying the comfort of government house in the way it is going without calling these persons to book. They know them, they are the government. I expect that by now somebody should be called to order in the way they are going. But however, I have stated clearly that Labour Party is law abiding but will not allow itself to be intimidated and kept mute in the eye of obvious displeasure as is being perpetrated by those who have gone to do this. Well, they also threaten they will go to other parts of the state to disrupt our activities and where we hold our meetings. Now that has been said, I won't tell you that Labour Party is going to do something that will be against the law, but we will resist any act of intimidation.